anything today. I think everything we need to do, we've done. We've forwarded a request to the FinCom for their consideration on the essential unfunded list.
All right. Madam Clerk.
Okay, some minutes. The first one is the joint work session with FinCom. It was held on December 20th, 2018.
Thank you, Norma.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to be here and speak.
Thanks, Donna.
It's a
Anytime.
public meeting, you come anytime.
Well, you know, sometimes I.
Any comments, changes?
Did you make that in form of motion?
No, I don't make, actually, I don't know if I made the motion.
There's a comment on this particular set of minutes. There are a number of entries in here that are not sentences. It's okay with me if we want to do it, but it's so different from what we've typically done for minutes.
Because they're not.
Do we want to move
Ross,
in that direction, or?
Somebody else did them.
Yeah.
FinCom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
So
has
it's
to
a
do
different
with the
style.
joint-
It's a different style. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
tried to
but-
be.
We gave our edits to make sure that
We
we felt.
tend to do sentences, and we still want to do sentences. Great, okay.
It's because it's a joint meeting, we
Yeah.
tried to be consistent.
It says submitted by Lou Ross.
If you just want to do the reading, though, under, as referenced by the guidelines.
Where are you, Dick?
It's just a typo something.
Yeah, what section? What, number 1, 2?
It's under 2,
Two.
third paragraph, near the end of the paragraph. It starts out with, the line starts out with reports and plans referenced by the guidelines.
Referenced by, yeah. Do you see what that is, Deb?
Yep.
And importantly, the thing begins with policy guidelines. I think we all know that it's important to say that these are the policies.
Yeah,
in
it's a
their
Y, not the IES. So in the header where it says policies, guidelines, it's policy guidelines. So it's just a Y in the first
guidelines.
sentence.
Policy guidelines, excellent. Thank you.
So there's 2 corrections there though,
Okay.
the first sentence.
Anything
He's
else?
saying under number 2, discussion regarding financial policy guidelines?
Yes.
Okay, and
then
that'll,
The
Well,
sentence.
no, at the very top, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
that's
In the-
in the
in the
bold
sentence.
face, and you'll look 2 lines down, it repeats again,
Yes.
and needs to be changed there too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Oh, and it's on the last, a motion to approve. Just, if you just go through it and just make sure that.
We'll make sure it just says
Same
policy.
Yeah.
Move to approve as amended.
It was
Second.
Any further suggested amendments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous?
Okay, the next ones are the meeting held on January 7th, the regular meeting minutes.
Any proposed
Wait a
amendments?
second. Oh, yeah. So, under the sign, because this is good discussion too, under the old business sign bylaw regulation, second paragraph, it said Gant will, it's hard for me to read, will prepare a letter for publication in the Tri-Town. Here's what I prefer to have it say. Gant will work to have the Tri-Town transcript publicize the effort prior to mailing. It's because I'm not sure I'm going to, whether we write a letter, they do an article, write a letter and do an article, they do nothing. I can always write a letter, but they don't have to accept it. I think that wording would be better. So it says, Selectman Gant will work to have work to have the Tri-Town transcript publicize the effort prior.
Did you get that, David?
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Any further
That sounds
proposed
okay.
And,
That sounds okay to me.
Any further proposed
wait a
amendments?
second. This is more for discussion. Under correspondence, the first one says, resident complaint dated so-and-so. My suggestion is, we don't have to change this one, but maybe in the future, it's, again, for discussion. I would say that it should say, resident complaints from Mary Q dated so-and-so. That way, if somebody's doing a research or trying to figure out from minutes what went on, it's documented there, not just as a resident complaint, but who it came from. Any discussion on that?
I'd go one step further, a little bit different, but I wouldn't use the word complaint.
Use what?
Wouldn't use the.
Oh, no,
word
you're
promote.
right, absolutely not, it's not, it's, right, concerning. It's not a complaint, it's concerning, right. Thank you, resident,
Or just letter.
letter from resident.
Keep it generic.
But you put down the subject is helpful when people do, looking at it and research, oh, that's
So you want
interesting.
the name of the person, the subject of the correspondence?
And the subject, that's
Just
right,
general.
name of the person, the date, and the nature of the correspondence.
That's fine.
Yeah, thank you, that, most importantly, not complaint, right.
Any further proposed amendments? Do you have a motion?
Motion to accept as amended.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
You weren't there?
It wasn't there.
What there? Okay, so the last one is the work session held on January 10th.
Opposed amendments?
Oh, yeah, wait a second, I think just, if somebody's trying to read it, under budget town hall, third paragraph in, second paragraph in, I guess, somewhere, it says, the subject of, and it's capitalized, facilities management services and information system service, information technology services. I would ask that they not be capitalized, because it seems like that's a particular thing. This is the concept of facilities maintenance systems, and so just to uncapitalize those two.
Facility management
Phrases.
services and ITS.
IT, right,
Okay.
right. And, that's it.
Anyone else? Take a motion, please.
Motion to accept as amended.
Second?
Second?
Any further amendments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
That it?
Yes, thank you.
Good job, thank you. I will entertain a roll call vote to move into closed executive session in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 21A, or subsection 21A, under exemption number 2, to conduct strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically to discuss and negotiate the town administrator's employment agreement, since an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's bargaining position.
So moved.
Chair?
And
The board will not return to regular session. Hold on a second. You want to say something before?
Yeah, I just
we do
had a
that?
suggestion.
Yeah,
On the document retrieval, going back in the beginning,
yeah.
what I heard is a lot of them are old and it's really document retention, not that you're gonna have to go in and look at the documents. You talked about maps from 1900, things like that. You may want to mentally divide the documents into groups where you would go and retrieve them versus archive. And maybe the document storage is appropriate and efficient, you know, for ones you may want to retrieve. If there's other ones you just legally have to store, but you're really not going to go after it.
Or if you go after them, 2 weeks is enough time to go after them. You
Yeah.
can have a
Yeah.
certain amount of time to go after them.
Theoretically, if they're scanned and scanned well, that shouldn't be much of an issue.
well, you know, the towns I've been talking to are not scanning their maps. They
Yeah.
said they're so big and cumbersome that it just takes so much time that they just have a system that you mentioned, Dave, that's more where you can find it in box, whatever, and then it's
Right.
put to the side.
But
The
I
other
I just heard we legally had to store things 100 years old, fine. Keep it the way it is. There's no efficient.
But one
That was
thing
my
that could make a lot of sense is what I call scan on demand. So let's say we're doing a project where old maps really matter, they're gonna be looked at for another month or 2 or 6 months. Scan it because you're gonna need it, and the scanned copy can be shared, and you don't end up risking further damage to the one you're retaining.
We get all
Yeah.
these maps electronically now on these projects, so I'm not sure.
But if they haven't been scanned, they're not there.
In talking with Boxford, they said they're very high-end expensive scanners for the maps.
Really.
The big ones.
They're very particular scanners, you can't just use the
But usually you set them
Thank you.
aside and they come and do it. Anyway,
Thanks,
whatever
Dave.
it takes.
Thank you.
So I'll be in touch. I think we have a motion.
Okay.
We have a motion.
Thanks, Dave.
Did we have a second?
Yes, we did.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, roll call starting with Mr. Gant.
I vote yes.
I vote aye.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, Kelly,